Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new split. We are bringing to you the summer 2021 predictions, kicking it off with the LCS. We don't have any results to talk about from previous splits, but we do have some pretty big banger games incoming. So without further ado, let's load up into the versus screen and talk about our first match. So we kick things off with a banger. Team Solo Mid and Team Liquid enter the Rift in a rematch from the Spring Split's lower bracket final. These two teams coming in with a lot to prove in terms of the fact that they want to challenge Cloud9 for that top spot, as well as make a run at Worlds. And obviously you would say the Cloud9, Team Liquid and TSM were the strongest squads during the Spring Split. And personally, this matchup could go either way. I'm going to be saying could it go either way a lot this year, because there's quite a few of these matchups that are like that. And this week is kind of the benchmark week for all teams. They set your tempo for the split and how you want to play. Obviously, coming into this split, we'll be on a different patch. I hope Vigo and Gwen are enabled, because we'll get to probably see some Vigo. Gwen, I don't think we'll see too much. She's too situational as a jungle / top laner. But Vigo could fit into the meta nicely, and personally, Xin Zhao is another pick that we saw in EU Masters as a very prevalent jungler, and he's seen some buffs during the recent patches, so he could quite easily be picked up by these junglers and affect the map very effectively. So, who do I think is winning this matchup? I have gone with Team Liquid. That's the only decision you can realistically go with. TSM tend to have a rough start to splits. It's gone down on notes that they struggle. I mean, we look at the lock-in tournament, they weren't the best performing team. They bombed out, I think, very early for a squad of their stature, and I feel that this week one's not going to be that strong for them either way. And yeah, that is the first prediction over and done with. Let's jump over to our second game. Now we've got two squads that did very well during a regular split last year. Evil Geniuses and Dignitas. As a motorbike comes whirling past, that's the sort of tempo we want to see from these two teams. And if we're going to see a Vigo or a Gwen during a regular split, I would honestly feel it's going to be coming out from Dardoch on Dignitas. He's the sort of player that does that. He's like a Pabu, except he has mechanical skills. And yeah, realistically, I want the Gwen or Vigo this week or next week. Who knows when I'm covering Dig? I do know, I've already planned out this split. But yeah, I'm going in this matchup for an Evil Geniuses win. This is going to be close. These two teams finished quite similarly in the playoffs last year, and personally, these two teams deserve to be in playoffs this split and possibly challenging for that world spot. And who wouldn't want to see Pentanet versus Dignitas at Worlds 2021? That would be an absolute banger of a game, in my opinion. Anywho, next game on the papers after we've predicted an EG win. Game 3 of 15 is Golden Guardians taking on Cloud9. This matchup realistically only sees one winner, as I have gone with Cloud9 winning, even though I do believe Golden Guardians have made roster swaps like C9 have also. Feel bad for Sven. But yeah, personally, I'm gonna say C9 wins this one. I don't think Golden Guardians are strong enough at the moment. Yes, they are a developmental squad, and picking up Solo into the lineup is huge. In my opinion, one of the better performing tops. I personally still feel though that it's going to be very easy for Cloud9 to pick up their first win of this regular split. 100 Thieves and IMT enter the Rift for the first time. You see, they're going to have an absolute brawl. I don't want to invest in eToro, and let's be honest, who would when these two teams enter the Rift? You know that shit's going down, and I'm swearing already because 100 Thieves made some big roster moves during the offseason, bringing in an EU mid like most NA teams tend to do, let's be honest. Avadage joins the roster of Sunday and some other players like FBI and Huhi. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute solid lineup for the summer split. And obviously, FlyQuest looking to prove himself yet again, this time in a new region. And 100 Thieves, I for one feel, are going to have a good old brawl here and pick up a very easy and dominant win over the other developmental roster in the LCS. Last game of day one of the opening week, we have FlyQuest and CLG. That was a wordy intro, and I know it. FlyQuest CLG. This was bottom of the table during the last split. I, for some reason, think it may be that again. But you have to think that the Chikorita logo squad are going to pick up the win here. And I've gone with FlyQuest over Counterlogic Gaming. Purely based on star power, I guess. I've got no hopes on these two teams during this split. Kind of like some of the other teams, the developmental squads like IMT and Golden Guardians. But they were actually performing more and more towards the end of the split. These two teams fell off a cliff throughout the entire split. Let's just be honest. There was nothing going for them. And as such, I've gone with FlyQuest picking up a win here in what could be seen as the worst matchup of the opening weekend. 2 days in a row we get a TSM opener, and for me, they have a very tough week of games. Going up against Evil Geniuses in their second round out. This is going to be fun though, as I think this will be TSM's opening win of the actual LCS this year. Yeah, it's going to be close. Yeah, I expect it to be scrappy, but TSM probably late game claw out the victory and hopefully pick up their first win. Now we have two squads you expected to do the opposite in the last split of how they performed. FlyQuest and Dig enter the Rift, and personally I've gone with a Dig win. There's no avoiding that. Dig, I want to win here and do very well in them performances. We are about halfway through now these predictions, and this one is a big one, as it's two squads that have had big roster swaps. It's King versus Avadage, I would call this matchup, as it is a very intense set of roster changes between the two lineups. And you've got the current team that went to MSI and bombed like TSM at Worlds, and you also have the team that everyone expected to do better, and they didn't. And do they do better in this matchup? Nope. C9 winning this one against 100 Thieves is my prediction, though I do think this will be the toughest matchup this weekend for C9. Who wants the quickie prediction? TLCLG, you've got to say TL win this. There's no other prediction. Last prediction of day number 2 is IMT Golden Guardians. Hopefully we get a very back and forth matchup between the two developmental squads. Obviously, they're developmental squads. They've had some time to improve over the off split, and realistically, hopefully they've adapted to the meta well, because this is going to be probably a fast-paced, very gank-heavy play for jungle meta that the two squads need to be working around. Obviously, you've got some solid players in both lineups, and I for one feel that this is going to IMT, and don't get me wrong, Golden Guardians still are very strong. They made some big roster moves in the off split, but IMT just have the better jungle and map pressure in my opinion, that they'll be able to pick up the win here. Do I smell fire? Cause this is burning up, ladies and gentlemen. It's our Anarchy Analysis matchup of the week. The only one you're getting is Dignitas and 100 Thieves. Why have I chosen this matchup? Well, obviously I want to talk about 100 Thieves' big roster move in Avadage, as well as like the fact that I feel this is probably one of those matches Dig pull out all the stops and showcase why they're a squad that's so feared, I would say, in terms of playing against in the LCS. And honestly, I feel this matchup is going to 100 Thieves, but it's going to be close, it's going to be fire, and it's going to be amazing to watch. Game 12 now, and it is Evil Geniuses taking on FlyQuest. I don't know about this matchup. It, to me, is a stick-out matchup, because I don't know how these two teams are going to come into this split. I've gone with EG winning, but I still feel it's going to be interesting to see how the two squads do, and personally, you could see possibly an explosive battle here, though it's gonna probably be one-sided. So do you remember how I said C9's toughest matchup would be against 100 Thieves? I was wrong. This is their toughest matchup, as we have the rematch. Read to the wine back to the LCS finals last split. We had Team Liquid taking on Cloud9. And well, they're coming back at it, and TL want revenge, baby. And I've given them that sweet, sweet solace, as I feel that they'll take down Cloud9. I just feel that Cloud9 kind of downgraded in the off-season moves. Obviously, they're not afraid to bench their starters, and Sven obviously wants to get back into the squad, but he was their superstar performer during MSI, and getting rid of him, yeah, you kind of have to feel it's going to be pretty bad. And TL with Tactical and Core JJ are going to take down that bot side matchup and just run the game. That's how TL will play this, and Alfari is going to have some fun with Fudge, let me tell you that. Anyway, that matchup is now behind us. TL winning is my prediction. Let's move over to game number 14. Should we keep this one short and sweet? Nah. TSM Golden Guardians is the second to last matchup. TSM probably will struggle here, and this is a good time for Golden Guardians to maybe strike their first win. However, I've not given them the win, I've given TSM it. And stylistically, TSM just outmatch Golden Guardians. You've got better mid. Top side is going to be interesting because you probably have two weak side tops playing against each other. And Speaker may invest a bit of time into Huni. Obviously, in playoffs we saw that for TSM, but stylistically, TSM want to be playing around bot side. Lost and Sword Art need to get a lot of the resources. We need to see Lost having those pop-off performances that he had during playoffs. I distinctly remember his Penna kill picking up a win for TSM. I do believe it was on Kaiser. And yeah, I want TSM to play through bot side in this matchup and showcase some strength, so that I can look forward to the rest of the season giving them wins over teams like Golden Guardians. And now we can finally wrap out our predictions with IMT and CLG. CLG have probably their, I'd say, most important matches at the start of this split. They face off against three opponents that you'd expect them to have a good time against, except Team Liquid, obviously. But they face FlyQuest and IMT in their opening week. Two teams that they'll be competing against to get into playoffs. I honestly feel that if CLG do not win these games, there's a high probability we won't see them in playoffs. And have I given them the win here against IMT, one of their toughest opponents? Nope, I've given IMT the win. I hype up CLG, I give them the do or die speech. Nope, they're not winning. They're dying for me, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I've gone with IMT winning just because the squad that they have should realistically do well against CLG. Yes, CLG have looked better with Broxah in the lineup, but Broxah is not a saving grace, and it's a meta played around the jungle, and you realistically have to think,
oh, maybe we'll put in some pressure in the jungle to get Broxah ahead onto say a pick he's not comfortable on. The Morg, the Rumble, the Xin Zhao.
Kind of not his style. Xin is more his style, but Morg and Rumble, not a Broxah champion. He's known for his Lee Sin. These are not picks like Lee. Morg requires skill shots. He's not too good at them. And personally, I feel CLG will struggle this year yet again, as IMT are my winners for the final matchup of this week. And as it's the final one, we can just outro out here. If you enjoyed these predictions, they'll be coming along thick and fast every week. And at the moment, it's only going to be the LCS until LEC returns, because I want the LEC back right now, but we're not going to get it. So, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you know it or if you want to. And I'll see you guys next week for our predictions. I'll also see you during the Anarchy Analysis matchup of the week. Peace out.